Hi, my name is Dr. Paul Inselman, and I am thrilled to be here with you. If you've come to this webinar, then you've absolutely come to the right place. I am going to show you how to literally change your life. What we're going to be doing is presenting a webinar. It's going to be about 15 or 20 minutes, and it's going to literally teach you how to build a scalable business coaching business. Let's go to the PowerPoint and strap in, because I think you're really going to learn a lot of cool things. All righty, how to build a scalable business coaching practice with minimal capital. You know, this pandemic has really wreaked havoc on all of us. But what has this pandemic taught us? It has taught us that Jeff Bezos from Amazon was right, and he's a genius. Why is he a genius? If you haven't read anything about Jeff Bezos, I recommend that you do so. And what he's taught us is whatever you do on this planet, own your own business. This has been so evidenced in this pandemic, because you could have had a great job and then all of a sudden you went out of business, or your employer went out of business. Or you could have had a great job and all of a sudden they decided to fire you. So you want to own your own business. You want to own a recession-proof business. I put this one in. Bezos didn't know this at the time, but you want to own a government-proof business. What does that mean? A lot of businesses got shut down during the pandemic. Me as a business coach, I got to work from my home. I got to work from my pool. I got to work from the beach. They didn't shut me down. You must have a business that's scalable. And let me teach you about corporate America. You see, in corporate America, several things happen. Number one, you get a great job. Okay, it's paying you $500,000 a year. You're a W-2 employee. That's great. But you have no write-offs. So that $500,000, let's just make up a number. Let's say you're in the 50% tax bracket. You come home with $250,000. Oh, that's a lot of money. But if you own your own business, and you have that same $500,000 after write-offs, tax write-offs, legitimate write-offs, you walk home with $300,000, $400,000, more than $250,000. But here's the thing with corporate America. In corporate America, you either age out or you get fired, or you decide to willingly retire. The problem is most Americans today do not have enough to retire. So what happens is when you turn to 55 to 65, what happens now is they start offering you packages, or they'll just outright fire you. This is the challenge, folks. At age 50 to 65, if you're not ready to retire, you have to retool. And if you can't retool, what ends up happening is you end up in Walmart or you end up in McDonald's. And understand something, I'm not knocking Walmart or McDonald's. To the contrary. But next time you go into one of those places of business and you see silver-haired people, understand why. They were not able to retool. They were not able to retire. And they either aged out of their business, their job, or they got fired. Now, here's the other interesting thing with corporate America. Today, you don't even get a gold watch. You get an attaboy or an attagirl. So Bezos was 100% correct. Own your own business. So why are you here? You know, most people want to be their own boss. You may be here for that reason. Most people like to make their own hours. You may want to be creating financial security for yourself and your family. You may want to create something for a legacy that you could sell. That's the nice thing about a business. You work in a business, your own. You collect a great salary. And then when you don't want to play anymore, you get to sell it for another payday. Let me tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about my journey. Let me just stop the share for a second. So I am a chiropractor by license, and I've been practicing for forever, 35, 36 years. And I practice something called enzyme nutrition. Enzyme nutrition is basically restoring what we call homeostasis, which means balance at the cellular level. And the people that I treated, I lovingly referred to as the medical rejects of the world. These were people that went from doctor to doctor to doctor, all through the medical system, only to be told, we're sorry. There's nothing else that we can do for you. Go home, get your affairs in order. You are going to die. Well, these people flew out to this crazy chiropractor, me, on Long Island, up in New York. And not only did they survive, but they thrived. I mean, we're talking about diagnoses of pancreatic cancer back in the mid-90s. That was a death sentence in 6 months. You were done. But these people actually lived 5, 7, 8 years of a quality-oriented life. Well, I got to enjoy a pretty good reputation, and I ended up building one of the largest enzyme practices in the country. We had patients literally flying in from all over the world for the services. Well, with that great reputation and with the building of that practice, at age 41, I just turned 59 this past January. At age 41, I decided to retire and move down to Florida and grow my kids. One of the patients that I treated was a Tony Robbins master trainer. And he asked me, Paul, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to play golf. I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to grow my kids. He said, no, I know, but what are you going to do? I said, which part of I'm going to grow my kids and play golf did you not understand? He said, let me ask you something. How many rounds of golf do you think you could play before you get melanoma? So I laughed and I said, I'll slather. I'll be okay. He said, why don't you coach for us? I said, coach for you? What the hell do I know about coaching? He said, Paul, coaching is nothing more than motivating people to do the things that they don't want to do for their best interest. He said, Paul, there isn't a chiropractor on the planet that charges $2,000 for an examination without insurance. No insurance, pay as you go. And remember, that was 17 years ago. He said, if you can communicate that kind of value, then you can absolutely coach. I was like, I don't think so. I'm good. I'm done. Well, they pursued me for about 8 months. And finally, they made me a godfather-like offer that I couldn't refuse. And I didn't. And I went to work for them for 3 years. And it was an awesome, awesome experience. Well, he was right. I am an entrepreneur, and I do not need to make anybody else money. If you have a job now, think about what you do at your job and think about how much money you've made for your boss. Well, I decided that I wanted to do that for myself. I didn't need to make anybody else money. So I created my own gig called Creative Coaching. Left on great terms, started the company, and here we are 17 years later with 75 coaches on our team, literally changing and saving lives. And that's what business coaching is about. It is about literally saving and changing lives. Let me go back to the PowerPoint and I'll explain. So let me tell you what my life is today, because I really have to pinch myself to realize that it's real. Understand something. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, folks, not by any stretch of the imagination. For 17 years, I've busted my ass happily. I really enjoy what I do. And my life today consists of this. I work 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I am off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the first full week of every month. I have actually three offices. I have one office on the Intracoastal, sitting by the Intracoastal outside. I have another office that's on a raft in my pool with a headset on. And I have another office that's down in the Florida Keys in Key West on the beach. And that's where I get to do my coaching. It is awesome because it is really a situation where I get to create the life that I wanted. And one of the things that I wanted was the freedom to be able to work from anywhere at any time. So let's go on and let me explain what business coaching is about. You need to understand this. It is a recession-proof business. It is government-proof. It is scalable. It saves lives. It saves marriages. It changes lives. And you get to work from anywhere. Let me explain the save lives and save marriages. This is my scorecard for 2020. In 2020, I saved 58 businesses from going bankrupt. during the pandemic, 58. During the pandemic, I had 23 people become millionaires under my watch, and I had one suicide save. Now, do you know the number one reason why people get divorced? It's not infidelity. It's money stress. Money stress. Of those, I'm sorry, I said 58 businesses I saved. The correct number is 54. I saved 54 businesses from going bankrupt. Of those 54 businesses, I don't know how many of those had marital stress, but I'm going to guess a bunch. So I got to save marriages. I got to save a life. I got to change lives in ways that I never imagined. And for that, we get to be paid pretty handsomely. The other nice thing about this is it is a global business. Global. That means you can call anybody anywhere in the world. And I have clients in Dubai. I have clients in Israel. I have clients in the UK. I have clients in the Philippines. I have clients all over the world. So it is a really, really special type of business. And here's the thing. You can earn as much or as little as you want. For me, it's better than a 7-figure gig. But again, remember, I'm doing this 17 years. What can you typically expect? Our coaches typically earn $250,000 plus, unless they're in a coma or unless they're not listening. And as we go through this presentation, you'll understand how those numbers are very, very achievable. So what are the most common problems that business coaches face? Well, number one, it's getting leads. Number two, it's getting your client to sign on the dotted line and agree to give you their hard-earned money. And lastly, you have to be able to get results for your clients so they never want to leave you. My clients stay with me on average 51 months. The reason why my clients stay with me on average 51 months is for two reasons. One, they know that I would take a bullet for them and give them a kidney on the same day. And number two, I make them more money than they pay to me. So let me show you what the training is about on how to get leads. And what you need to decide is this viable? That's the first thing that you need to decide. Is this a viable lead generation technique? The first technique that we utilize is when you come on board, you have to do something that intrigues. So every one of our coaches become an associate contributor to the 6-Figure Coaches magazine. What that allows you to do is to write articles that will be published. And what we do then is we then call business owners and we ask them if we can interview them for an article that we are writing for the 6-Figure Coaches magazine. This script positions us with instant credibility at zero cost. So you have to decide, is that viable? And here's what the script sounds like. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner. My name is Paul Inselman. I am an associate contributor for the 6-Figure Coaches magazine, and the magazine has asked me to write an article on some processes that I've created. Would you allow me to interview you in the XYZ industry as an industry leader so I can get your feedback and industry know-how as to why my processes will or will not work? So how many people do you think will slam the phone down? How many people do you think will call you a nasty name? How many people do you think will say no? If you think it's everybody, you'd be 100% wrong. If you think it's everybody that'll say, yes, interview me, again, you'd be wrong also. I could tell you that I can make 100 calls, and of the 100, there are going to be 30 people that are going to be willing to have me interview them. That is a lead, folks. The next way we get leads is networking. One of the things that we're going to do for you as a feature is we are going to provide to you and help you write a ghostwritten book. It's going to be copywritten to you. It is going to be your picture, your name on the cover, just like mine is here. My book is Business Strategies for business owners who have limited time. So what I do is I go to networking events, at least one a week. During the pandemic, we were doing them virtually. When the pandemic is over, we will go back to live events. And what I do is I go with a copy of my book and I basically tell them that I use an elevator pitch that says, hey, I have some software. It's called Profit Acceleration Software that could find any small business a minimum of $100,000, depending on the size of the business, of course, in less than 45 minutes. And we could show that business owner how to reclaim that lost revenue without spending an additional dime on their marketing. Now, How many people do you think would be interested in that? And then I give them a copy of my book. I will tell you that in October of 18, I did a networking event exactly like this. I generated 68 new clients. That equated to $1.6 million in revenue, and it was a kumbaya of kumbaya moments, folks. And that is how we get leads through networking. The third way we get leads is by hosting focus groups. During the pandemic, we did it virtually via webinar. During, when it's not the pandemic, I invite 5 to 10 local business owners to a 2-hour live event. And again, we give you the presentation. We give you all of the training on how to present it. We usually serve breakfast or dinner, depending on which you prefer. And we talk about what's working and what's not working in our business and marketing, or we give you how to double your leads and triple your profits in 90 days. It's really easy to set up. It's literally no cost or low cost. And I offer to find each business owner a minimum of $10,000 to $100,000 with that profit acceleration software, and you will get a 75+% conversion rate. And the revenue generated by each event is going to be anywhere between $25,000 and $50,000 in monthly revenue. So what you have to decide right now is, are those 3 lead generation techniques that we're going to teach you, are they viable? If they are viable, the next thing that you have to decide for yourself is, will you execute? Will you do the things that we teach you? Think about playing tennis. If you read all the great books and never hit a ball, good luck. If you go out and you hit 1 ball a day, you'll reach a certain level of excellence. Not too good. If you hit 2 balls a day, a little bit better. 5, 10, 1,000, 5,000 balls a day, you'll be like Serena Williams. So you have to decide if you will execute. The key to success in anything is execution. What we have developed is a time-proven, over 25 years, strategies that are very, very strategic and that work, provided you execute. So if you will not execute, then you should really leave the webinar at this point, because this opportunity definitely is not for you. Now, how do you close clients? One of the things that we teach our coaches is that you never, ever are allowed to sell. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if you use the tools that we provide to you, you're never going to have to sell anybody. Let me show you what this profit acceleration software looks like. So the profit acceleration software is pretty amazing stuff. Remember that I promised that I would find any small business a minimum of $10,000 to $100,000 in under 45 minutes. So here's an example of an electrical company. And what we do is we put in the financial information. So they did $710,000 and they had a 21% net profit margin and a 40% gross profit margin. And basically you can see that evidenced here. Here's a $710,000 gross current revenue. So the software uses 497 million algorithms to go through different sequences to find that client money. And what we do is we go through different areas, how to cut costs, and the software prompts you on all the information to ask the client and how to put it into the program. So all the areas on the left that are in green, compelling offer, downsell, these are the areas that we looked at with this particular business. When we come back and we show the client, this is the screen, the summary screen. So I found this client $391,000 that he was leaving on the table. In 5 years, that is $1,955,000 that he was leaving on the table. At this point, I didn't know if he was going to throw up, if he was going to crap in his pants, or if he was going to have a stroke all simultaneously. And then what we do is we show them all the things that we have for them. We show them the sequence of how we're going to implement. So we would implement the market dominating position first over the first 3 weeks, then compelling offer, leads, etc. And then we go in and we show them exactly the strategies that we use. So here is for a dentist. We have it for every profession. We show them exactly how we're going to get them more leads. We show them exactly how we're going to get them to convert. And at this point in time, the client is, or the prospective client is pretty much drooling. And then what we do is we show them the turnkeys that we have. So we have every industry. We have everything outlined for them. Whoops, went into the wrong place. We have everything turnkeyed. So if they need a full page ad for their profession or their industry, we have it. If they need a brochure, we have it. If they need special reports, postcards, everything and anything that they need, we have. This really gets them excited. The next thing that we do is we can generate a report to email to them right here. And the report is detailed and it goes over everything of what the software has found. And then we show them the return on investment. So with this particular client, we were getting $5,000 a month and we were getting a 2% revenue share. So here is the current profit at $149,000. Here's the first year's increase, bringing him to $391,000. And here's his investment of $62,000 for the year, a spit in the bucket. And remember what I said, we never sell. All we do is we ask, hey, Mr. Prospect, would you like my help in reclaiming this $1.955 million? Nobody says no. Everybody says yes, but. And that but is, what program should I go into? So we have a one-on-one coaching program. That's the Big Daddy. We charge anywhere between $1,000 a month to a $5,000 a month and greater retainer. Plus we get a revenue share. We have downsell into a group coaching program where we provide all the coaching to the client via webinar, and you sit back and you collect a passive $500 bill. Or we have something called an academy. The academy, let me show you what that looks like. The academy is one of the websites that we provide to you. And that academy is pretty awesome. This is a paid site, so it would be your picture instead of mine. It would be your name instead of mine. And basically, this is a paid site where your client would come in. They pay you $197 a month passive revenue, and this is where they could do things themselves. So they would come into this dashboard, and everything is laid out for them. If they need, for example, more leads, they can come into this section, more leads, and there are videos on everything and anything that they would need. Then if they wanted done for you marketing, we have every single profession, including cattle ranching, believe it or not. Here's a cattle rancher. It's in alphabetical order, basically laid out for them. So let's say that I was coaching a chiropractor. The chiropractor would come in here, and let's say they wanted to do a campaign on fibromyalgia. Well, everything is there for them. Their print ads are done for them. Their brochures, their special reports. If they wanted to do radio and TV, boom, it's there for them also. So this is a turnkey system of training and of deliverables that basically put you in a driver's seat to maintain and excel at earning passive revenue. It's a whole different headspace than the corporate world, I have to admit. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. So this profit acceleration software allows us to be in a position where we never sell anybody ever. Now, let me give you a projection of how this works and how scalable it is. According to Forbes magazine says that a warm lead will close 70% of the time. What I have assumed is that you will get 10 meetings. I am also assuming that you are just going to absolutely suck at closing. So I'm saying that you are going to close one client in one-on-one coaching, and you will get $997 a month on the low end. I will say that you'll get one client into group coaching, and you'll get $500 for that client. And you'll put one person as do-it-yourself at $197 a month. So the first month is $1694. Now, my question is, do you think that over time you will get better at getting meetings? So this isn't just 10, it's 20 or 50 or 100. Do you think that over time you'll get better at closing people where you're not just closing one person into one-on-one and one into group and one into do-it-yourself, that you will close more like 4, 5, 6, or 7? So if you just totally sucked and you rinsed and repeated, and you did this every month, at the end of 12 months with just the lowly 3, your annualized income is $244,000. And it does not take into account the revenue share of anywhere between 2 and 10%. So do you see how it is impossible, unless you're in a coma or unless you're not listening, to really scale this business? The support, let's talk about that. The support is beyond anything that you can ever imagine. Let me say the same thing, only differently. There's so much support that you will choke and feel like you're drinking from a fire hose unless we tone it down. Basically, this is the algorithm. A new coach signs up with us and they're accepted onto the team. They get a welcome letter from myself and from Adrian, and then they meet with our head coach, Walt. Walt is going to walk them through how to get us their stuff. The first thing that we want to do is we want to produce your websites. Your websites take 21 to 35 business days once we have your stuff. Your stuff is defined as your headshots, your URLs, your email addresses, etc. So your first live meeting is with Walt, and he'll show you how to get us all of your stuff. Then you're going to go into the 100K training webinars, and that is how to learn how to use that profit acceleration software. And we're also going to provide to you a PowerPoint, and that PowerPoint is designed to make you the greatest thing since sliced bread if that person is even thinking about using a business coach. And then you're going to work with Alan, and you're going to work with me. 1 week you're going to be on the phone with Alan, 1 week you're going to be on the phone with me. And we're going to take you through from everything of how to set up this business, to how to get leads, to how to close your clients, to how to get your clients results, and how to become a really, really awesome business coach, create financial security for you and your family, to be able to get you out of the corporate rat race hamster wheel, to get you the quality of life that you want and deserve, and to get you to help people in ways that you've never, ever dreamed possible. Think about never having to get on a subway again. Think about never having to scrape your car off from ice again. Think about going anywhere in the world. You want to go to Europe? Go to Europe. You can coach from Europe, just adjust for the time. You want to come down here to sunny Florida? Bingo. You can coach from the beach. Do what I do. Let me go over the features and benefits because there are over 50. I'm just going to highlight the major ones. You get 2 websites. You get that website I showed you, which is the Academy, and you also get another website, which is for credibility. And there are also areas where people can buy other services from you. You're going to get the Profit Acceleration software, which we've already gone over. You are going to get a ghostwritten book that we're going to help you to write. So it's going to be customized for you, and you're going to write some chapters, and we'll guide you on how to do that. You'll put a new title, you'll put your picture, your credit, your copyright to it. You're going to get the support like no other. You're going to get 4 people that are going to coach you individually, 3 and myself. And then here are all of the other benefits that you're going to get. And there are about 20 others that are not listed on here. Let's go over how the finances work. If you're looking for a job, this is not the right place. If you're looking to own your own business, then this is absolutely the right place. And it's really simple. I am going to pay all of the upfront training costs of $10,000 for the right person. Then that person is going to pay me back at the rate of $1,000 a month for 10 months. After the 10 months, the $1,000 is replaced by your expenses. The expenses of $1,500 per month, which are the ongoing costs of the business. That is for research and development of new products and services, ongoing maintenance and upgrades to your websites, and ongoing coaching for life. So I want you to look at how powerful this is. Let's say you wanted to open up a pizza place. Well, you would have to put up last month in a security deposit to your landlord. You didn't sell a slice of pizza yet. Then you would have to put in capital improvements, ovens and countertops. You didn't sell a slice of pizza yet. You're out of pocket this money. Then you would have to open your doors and your expenses would kick in immediately. You'd have rent and telephone and pizza dough and personnel. Well, that person is not going to realize a return on their investment for a very, very long time. In this opportunity, you are using OPM, other people's money, the bank of Paul Inselman. And you are starting a business that you should be earning $250,000 plus in a year. And you're starting that for $1,000. Your expenses haven't kicked in yet. You're just paying back capital. Then after your capital is paid back, then your expenses kick in. And if you're doing $250,000, that's a 3% expense ratio. Think about that. How many businesses do you know that work on a 3% expense ratio? Now, here's something that's pretty cool. I have 10 $5,000 grants. There's a small business support group that loves what we do, that we're really helping people to get back on their feet. So I have 10 $5,000 grants. What that means is if you are awarded a grant, then your total investment is not 10,000, it is 5,000. And that is pretty cool. Now, please note, when these grants are gone, they are gone. Okay, can't manufacture them. So if you are interested in this, let me tell you the next steps. What you want to do is click the bottom of the video or on the side to set up an interview. There'll be a link there that will say click here. If not, you can take a picture of this and you can go to this link at any time. This link will set up an interview with me, and most importantly, it's going to trigger a due diligence package. It's going to come to you via email, and if you give me your cell phone number when you register, it'll come via a text. This is really important, folks. I don't want you to believe a thing that I am saying. This is the internet, the land of scam. I want you to go through that due diligence package with a fine-tooth comb, and I want you to prove everything for yourself. Go Google me. You'll see that everything that I've told you on this webinar is provable. Go look at my Google reviews. You'll see they are stellar. I take great pride in that. You will see that everything is on the up and up. And when you decide that this is legitimate, then you have to decide three things. One, is it viable, what I just showed you on the screen? Two, will you execute what I've shown you on the screen? And three, do you want to join this team and create the life of your dreams? If you find that once you schedule that appointment and going through the due diligence package, if you find that this opportunity is not right for you, no problem. Let us know and we'll cancel the call. What I do ask is this. Please, if you're going to schedule, do your due diligence before you get on that call. Come to that call ready to start training within the next 2 weeks. Be ready to make your first investment of $1,000 while you're on the call, and be ready to change your life and create financial security for you, yourself, and your family. I'm not asking you to rush through the due diligence. If you need to get the blessing of your spouse, your business partner, your significant other, get it before we meet for that interview. If you need to pray on it, if you need to do whatever you have to do, put all your ducks in a row so that when you come to that call, if you are invited onto this team, and if we resonate with each other, you're ready to rock and roll and go from there. Is that fair? Cool. Let me stop the share for a moment. And let me start this video. So I am thrilled that you spent the time with me now. And I have to tell you that if this is not the right opportunity for you, don't worry, your opportunity will come. But I will tell you, if this is the right opportunity for you, your life is never going to be the same. If we meet on the other side of this webinar, I will absolutely show you how you can be your own boss, make your own hours, how you can have a really, really exciting career that's quite lucrative too. And if we don't meet on the other side of this webinar, I wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors. Thanks so much for joining today. Have a great day.